Welcome to the Echain A Day in the Life demo series from Chainsys. In this installment, we'll take a look at a day in the life of a retail user within Echain. A typical day in the life of a retail user within the system could include any of the following processes. We'll show you how to do inventory management, supplier creation, creating and managing price lists, creating purchase orders, receiving against those purchase orders, creating and managing retail cash registers, cash register balance roll forwards, retail ordering processing, reviewing customer invoices and cash receipts, reviewing the GL journal, and finally, performing a trial balance. First, we'll start with inventory management. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and log in, navigate up to the Inventory tab, where I'll click on Setup, Item Setup, and then Items. Here I can click on my warehouse, which will bring me to the item entry screen. I'll go ahead and type in the item name. So we'll do a leather handbag here. And then I'll put in the item description, type of item, which is imported leather here. Then I'm going to have to select whether it's a make or buy item. Currency, which will be Indian rupees in this case. Also the unit of measure, which is just going to be numbers. And then the nature of the item, which is simply an inventory item for this leather handbag here. So next I'm going to have to go down and select whether there's a revision of this item. In this case, it's not going to be a revision item. And then I can go ahead and save. And once I click on save, I'm going to get a notification from the system at the bottom that the transaction has been successfully processed. So next what I'm going to go do is show you how to do a supplier creation through Echain. And for that process, we'll actually have to go up to the Procurement tab. Then we'll go down to Supplier and click on Supplier. And this will actually bring up the Supplier Master screen. You can click Search and actually search by supplier name. Here we'll just pick up this generic ABC supplier name. And so here's the master information for this supplier, including the standard payment terms, the supplier type, first name, last name of the contact. And if I click on sites here, it's going to bring up the different supplier sites. So here this is located in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu. And the next process here actually that we'll take a look at is creating an actual purchase order. So here I'll go back up to the Procurement tab, Purchase Order, and Purchase Order again. And this will open up the Purchase Order screen for me, where I can select the PO type, from this drop-down menu. Just pick it up as a standard PO. And then I'll enter in my buyer name. So here I'll be the administrator, since that's who I'm logged in as. Then I'll select the warehouse, ship to location, the supplier, supplier site, and then of course once I pick up the supplier, the payment terms are going to go ahead and default in from the standard payment terms with that supplier. And here I can select the item name down at the line item level. Going to be a leather handbag, a leather jacket, and then also a leather wallet that we're buying today. And then I can enter my need by date and just go ahead and select it from the pop-up Echain calendar. And then I'll also need to type in my unit price. And then the number of units that are going to be purchased for each one of these line items. And then once I'm finished with that, I can go down and click Save. And then I'll get a transaction successful notification from Echain once the transaction has been posted to the system. So here, let me go ahead and click on the Taxes button. And this will take me to the tax information for this line item, and I'll actually go ahead and put in a value-added tax there, POVAT on 4% in this case. And then I set the precedence values here, and I can go ahead and save that. And then I'll close out of it once the transaction successful notification pops up. And then I'll save the purchase order again. Then I can go ahead and click Approve. Just get a notification here about the approval date, which is totally fine in this case. We'll allow the system to default in today's date. Here I can go ahead and just copy the PO number before I navigate away from this window. And heading into the purchase order receipts, I'm going to need that number. So here I'll navigate to Inventory Receipts and Purchase Order Receipt. And I can enter in the supplier name here, the supplier site, of course, my warehouse information, the type of PO, and then there's also a couple of additional fields here that I can use in order to help narrow my search. And what I'm going to do is put in that order number that I copied off of the purchase order entry screen. And then I'll just click on search here, and it'll bring up the line items from that particular PO. So I'll go ahead and check the line items that I want to receive against, and click on Go to Receipt here at the bottom of the screen. So here you can see I got my purchase receipt screen, and I'll just have to go select the sub-inventory level here, store in both of these cases, and then the quantity that I want to receive. So you can see the purchase order quantity will come up, but in this case I'm not going to receive the full quantity against the leather jacket or against the wallets. I'll have to go up and put in the DC number. Here you can see the value details for this receipt. You can see the prices, the line amounts. I'll just go ahead and close out of that. And then I'll click on Create. And what this is going to do is actually create the purchase receipt in the system for me. And as you can see, the transaction has been posted successfully. I can just go ahead and look at the report here. And this is the actual document that I'd see either in an electronic format or could be printed